I wanted to be a pilot. So I did try for my NDA and I did not make it because I could not make it for the Air Force. They offered me Army and Navy and I said, no, I wanted to fly. So I was rejected. So from being a child who used to run away from food to actually go into food and try and understand food was quite unique for me. And I wanted to get that learning knowledge. When you eat our food, it may look very modern and progressive and very Western, but when you eat with your eyes closed, it's all India on your palate. I never wanted to be a chef. It was never in my dreams also that I'd become a chef in my life. My only dream at a very young age was, I grew up in Mumbai and I wanted to be a pilot. So I did try for my NDA and I did not make it because I could not make it for the Air Force. They offered me Army and Navy and I said, no, I wanted to fly. So I was rejected. I was turned down and I went to hotel school. And when I went to hotel school in Bombay, I wanted to be a barman. And when I applied for my internship in college for the hotel, they said I'm too short to stand behind a bar counter. So again, my height was against me. And they said the only place where you can go, or rather should be, where nobody sees you, is the kitchen. This telegram which came at 2 a.m. and said you've been granted admission into catering college. Now again, then it starts off at home. I said all my family members are doctors, engineers, IITians, and stuff like those. My mother is a lawyer, or was a lawyer. And I said, none of the family members have worked in the hotel industry or worked in this stuff. It's not really considered as prestigious. And I said, you really want to go and work into hotel and clean toilets and peel garlic and potatoes and onions and work in the kitchens and clean bedrooms and all that stuff? And I said, yes, I'll do that. At a very early age of 17, I actually went into the industry. And I think I had my calling then. So the urge to learn was always there. The inquisitiveness was always there. But in those 5 years of working at the Oberoi's and my 3 years in college, that is what gave me the grounding and the understanding of Indian cuisine as such. But what I always found was you were never allowed to experiment. You were never allowed to innovate. You were never allowed to create. It was just a very fixed box. And I left because I was not allowed to showcase or to grow. In many ways, I was not getting the exposure which I wanted in terms of food, the way I was looking at food, and I wanted to look at food differently. And that is when I left India and I went to UK. Everybody who goes into the kitchen to learn at that stage, everybody wants to learn French cuisine because that is the fast track to become the executive chef for the hotel. And that is the most glamorous part, is the French cuisine, haute cuisine as such. And I said, why do you want to learn French cuisine when you go to your own Indian cuisine, which is so rich and deep, which comes to you naturally in some shape and form, that you should do that? So I rebelled. And I think I was the only person in my kitchen there as a trainee who said, I want to work in an Indian kitchen. When you eat our food, it may look very modern and progressive and very Western, but when you eat with your eyes closed, it's all India on your palate. In 93 is when I actually left India and I went to UK. And I actually got my kind of a freedom of expression in terms of food. Then after 5 years, I quit Star of India and opened up my own place in Fulham called Zyka. And in Zyka, I had an Italian partner who basically did not set me a boundary, who basically said, you are the chef, you know what you want, what you feel comfortable with. So I had a kind of an expression to express myself as a chef at that stage. And I think that is the time when we actually got our Michelin in 2001. So we were recognized for what we did in terms of the food. That is where we actually got our biggest break in terms of exposure. It was in 2001 as being the chef patron. I was the first Indian chef patron in the world to have got a Michelin Star in 2001. Because the way we looked at things and the way we tried to craft our dishes and our menus and our outlook, it was very progressive and unheard of in those days. And that is what has probably given us the kind of an essence of being a maverick or a pioneer in terms of modern Indian cuisine. The biggest break came to us because after 5 years of working with the Italian gentleman, we realized although we were partners and a customer was making money, he wasn't sharing any money with us. And that is when we threw in the towel. And my wife and I opened up our own restaurant in Chelsea. A very small restaurant with just 32 seats called Rasoi by Vineet. We had to basically mortgage our house or give a house collateral to the bank on a 7-year term. So if the restaurant collapsed, my house would have been gone and we'd been on the street. In a year and a half's time, Rasoi got a star. And that, I think, was probably the biggest moment for us. And in 2008, we opened up in Geneva, in the heartland of main Europe. And within 15 months, we got a star. I think we still are the only Indian restaurant to have had the Michelin Star in mainland Europe. I am basically an artist. I cook. That's what I do. But I think most of the credit actually goes to my wife more than anybody else. Rashima has been my backbone because she has been able to run the business as such. She is the business mind behind the whole thing. I think the recent accolade with the MBE was quite a bit of a surprise for us because it was not something which we were expecting. It came as a pure surprise. So I think we thought that Michelin is going to be one of the highest awards we would ever get in our life. But the MBE was out of the blue. I think it just knocked us off because to be acknowledged and accepted and to be honored with that award was quite special, especially by the government. It speaks volumes. And for an immigrant who has gone to the country with £7 in '93, it's been an incredible journey.